Maybe you've brushed it off, that sudden whisper of déjà vu, the same number flickering at 11:11, a stranger repeating a phrase you just dreamt of. You called it luck, chance, or weird timing, but what if it wasn't randomness? What if it was resonance? There's a sacred law beneath it all, one that doesn't speak in logic, but in patterns, pulses, and echoes. And once you learn to listen, life becomes a mirror of your inner world. Not every coincidence is divine, but every divine moment begins with awareness. So take a breath and let your deeper vision awaken. This is not about superstition. It's about coming home to a language your soul already knows. We've been conditioned to see life through a narrow lens. A missed train is bad luck. A strange encounter, just random. But underneath what we dismiss as trivial, the universe is constantly leaving markers, breadcrumbs for the soul. Selective attention, a principle deeply explored in neuroscience, shows how our brain filters reality based on what it believes is important. So if you've been told that life is meaningless, you'll overlook the very messages meant to guide you. And there's another invisible trap, the inverted confirmation bias. When something doesn't fit our story of control or logic, we discard it. We miss the chance to listen because we're too busy explaining it away. Try this simple ritual tonight. Keep a coincidence journal by your bed. Each night, write down 3 moments that felt oddly timed, repetitive, or emotionally charged. Don't analyze or just record. You're not trying to find the meaning yet. You're training your eyes to see what your soul has always felt. And sometimes it's only in hindsight, when the chaos settles, that the pattern reveals itself. Many speak of high vibration as if it's something you think into existence. But true frequency isn't just a mental affirmation. It's the subtle union between your emotion, your body, and your intention. You can't vibrate peace while your body trembles with anxiety. You can't attract clarity while your breath is shallow, your presence fragmented. Spiritual law responds to coherence, the alignment between thought, feeling, and sensation. Otherwise, what we manifest comes not from soul, but from fear, scarcity, or need. Binaural beats are one of many tools that help bridge this inner gap. Try this. For 7 days, choose a quiet space. Use binaural tones and direct your focus toward one sacred intention. Then observe, not with urgency, but with reverent curiosity. What enters your path? What repeats? What dissolves? Physicist David Bohm called it the implicate order, a hidden layer of the universe where all things are already connected, already in motion. When your inner world shifts, that layer begins to ripple. And what seems like coincidence is simply your field answering back. Not every coincidence brings light. Sometimes we meet the same heartbreak in a different face, walk into the same dead end, cloaked in a new opportunity. This isn't punishment, it's a pattern, a spiritual loop we haven't integrated. Repetition is the soul's way of asking, are you finally ready to choose differently? Spiritual sabotage isn't always loud, it's subtle, familiar, even seductive, and often the clues are wrapped in synchronicities that echo an unhealed wound. To break the cycle, we must meet the mirror. Try this sacred exercise inspired by Hermetic tradition and Jungian psychology. Sit in silence. Take a journal. Ask yourself, what emotion arises when I face this pattern? What belief might I be projecting into my outer world? Write it. Don't judge it. Just reveal it. You may discover, as one woman did, that her repeated meetings with old lovers were not accidents, but emotional echoes of an unresolved grief that wanted to be seen, honored, and finally released. When we face what we resist within, the outer world stops needing to reflect it back. Carl Jung taught that synchronicities are not random, they are expressions of the unconscious seeking conscious participation. Archetypes, like the lover, the seeker, the wounded healer, live within us. and life reflects them back through events, symbols, and even strangers. Have you ever felt a coincidence stir something deeper than thought? A shiver, a pause, a knowing? That's an archetype knocking. But there's a subtle distortion that often slips in, meta feelings. When we don't just feel, but judge our feelings. You sense excitement and fear that it's foolish. You feel drawn, but pull back, thinking it's irrational. This internal conflict numbs the signal and confuses the guidance. To fine-tune your perception, try this self-inquiry. Each evening, ask yourself 3 questions. What symbol or event caught my attention today? What inner feeling did it awaken? Curiosity, fear, longing? Which archetype could this reflect? The guide, the child, the shadow. Patterns begin to emerge when you give them names. Coincidences then become conversations, not with fate, but with your own deeper self. As we awaken to synchronicity, we face a new challenge. The temptation to label every event as divinely orchestrated. But true spiritual discernment requires humility and patience to pause before naming meaning. There's a phenomenon known as the telegram protocol, a mental reflex where we assign spiritual meaning too quickly without anchoring it in real context. This can lead to confusion, disillusionment, or even bypassing deep emotional truths. So how do we stay open without getting lost? Use questions as your compass. When something feels like a sign, ask, is this aligned with my current growth or a distraction dressed in familiarity? What emotion does this trigger, peace or urgency? Is this guiding me forward or pulling me into an old cycle? What does my body feel when I lean into this path? Am I using this sign to avoid making a choice? Sometimes in the search for messages, we lose the present moment. We start chasing symbols instead of embodying wisdom. Let the coincidence guide you, not replace your inner compass. And above all, remember, the present is not just where life happens, it's where life speaks. Synchronicity doesn't chase attention. It arises when attention becomes sacred, when we move from passive observing to embodied awareness. This shift begins in the body. Try this. A 7-minute meditation of intelligent focus. Sit, close your eyes, and place all your awareness in your breath. Let each inhale root you into the now. Then scan your body. Notice where tension hides and invite it to soften. As your awareness deepens, hold a gentle intention. Be not a demand, but a frequency. Ask, what am I ready to receive? Now step into your day with stillness intact. Life begins to align with this new rhythm. Create a resonance journal. Each day, write 3 things: a coincidence or repeated theme you noticed, the emotion it evoked, any shift in your thoughts, dreams or desires. Over time, you'll witness a pattern, your own soul's signature communicating through time and form. And remember the hermetic law of rhythm. Life flows in waves. Don't rush the tides. Walk with them. The signs will meet you there. What if the fork in your path isn't marked by a grand decision, but by a quiet moment, a phrase you overhear, a book that falls open, a stranger who says exactly what you needed to hear? These are not accidents. They are gentle nudges, sacred suggestions that your soul may be ready to turn. In a recent story, a woman found herself constantly meeting people who worked in healing arts, though she was in corporate law. Each coincidence carried the same message until she finally paused and asked, what if this is not interruption, but invitation? And yet not every sign means action. Sometimes the highest wisdom is restraint, to witness without rushing, to accept without needing to label it as destiny. If you feel overwhelmed, try this. Gather your recent coincidences. Write each on a separate note. Then lay them out like a mosaic, a small movie reel of your last few weeks. What story emerges? Where is the emotional thread? Your intuition will begin to see what logic cannot, because the soul rarely delivers answers. It offers direction, one moment at a time. Let's remember what we uncovered together. Coincidences are not random. They are reflections of your perception, your vibration, your readiness. The mind filters, the body broadcasts, and the soul listens. Repetition is not failure, it's a sacred echo waiting for integration. The world responds not to what you think, but to what you become. Archetypes, timing, emotion, all are parts of a greater symphony you're learning to hear. True discernment requires stillness, humility, and deep presence. And purpose is not a destination. It is the resonance between your daily life and your inner truth. So the next time something strange happens, pause, breathe, feel, and ask, what part of me is being spoken to? Because maybe the universe isn't testing you. Maybe it's simply remembering you.